YouTube. It's been a while. I honestly kind of feel like I'm a completely different person than who I was the last time I uploaded. So consider this like an introduction to me yet again. I'm gonna be sharing some updates with you and kind of go over what's changed, address the big elephant that I put in the title. Yeah, a lot has changed. Right now, I'm just making some oatmeal. I did yoga this morning. Another update that I'll be talking about, I'll briefly mention it now, is like my workout routine is so different than it used to be. So I did some yoga this morning and it went well. It humbled me. I think just because I lift that I'm strong and I can, you know, handle these more difficult yoga classes, but today's class humbled me. My legs were shaken. I was struggling to stay balanced at some points, but it was a really great session. But yeah, so just wanted to say, hey, this is the second time I'm trying to film this update. I just didn't like the first one. I didn't like the vibe that it was having. It wasn't working for me. So we're gonna try this again. I'm back. I will be more consistent, but we gotta get some things out of the way. We gotta do a little housekeeping before we dive into some new content. So a lot of what I'm gonna be talking about today is from a Q&A box that I posted on my Instagram. I have still been active on Instagram and TikTok, even though I haven't been posting here. Mostly focusing on TikTok though. I am so close to 100K. At this point that I am filming it, I'm at like 95.7, so stinking close to 100K. So that's exciting. But yeah, I'm gonna be answering some questions, going over some updates. I mean, I'm clearly, one big update you can tell is that I'm in a new house, so we moved, which is exciting, but I'll talk more about that in a bit, so I'll see you in a few. So basically we have strawberries with a side of oatmeal. Coffee of the day is, I did cold brew, and then I did the oat milk, and then in the oat milk I put, okay, this is gonna sound like a lot, but you have to just trust the process. I put some banana extract, some almond extract, like a tiny bit of those two, and then hazelnut extract, like I put maybe double hazelnut compared to the other ones. And then I frothed it with, it's this sweetener that I got. I forget, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's made from apples. So think it's kind of like agave, but it has a very neutral flavor. It's maybe slightly less sweet than agave, but it doesn't taste like apples. So like it's a really neutral sweetener. So I put that, and then I frothed the milk with all of that and then put it in the coffee. So it's like a banana nut bread coffee situation. You gotta just trust the process. It's to die for. So updates. The obvious big update is that I'm in a new home. We moved into this home in the beginning of January. I'm not going to say where it is, obviously for privacy reasons, but it is a beautiful new home. We have like a nice big backyard now for the dog. She loves that, and it's just really nice to be able to like go outside and experience nature and put my feet in grass and all of that. Because at our other place, we had a deck, we didn't really have a yard. Like we had a yard kind of, but it didn't get any sun. It was like a side yard next to a parking lot, and it was just like, it didn't motivate me to want to go outside. But the yard that we have now, we have a deck and then we have the yard, and it is like, it's amazing. I am picking up gardening. I have never done it before, but I will insert a little clip of my plant babies. I have tomato varieties, I have calendula flowers, I have marigold flowers, I have basil. I'm trying to do mint. The first time I planted the seeds, they just did not sprout, so I'm trying again. And then I have a ton of pepper variety, so I'm very excited, feeling very domestic, basically gonna turn my backyard into a farm at this point, but that's okay. I think my hair is different from the last time I filmed. I don't remember what hair I had in the last video that I posted, but yeah, there's that. I don't have bangs anymore. We're past the bangs. They were too high maintenance. So, okay, the elephant in the room. This is, so when I did the Q&A box on Instagram, most of the questions were basically asking me like about my health, why I'm not vegan anymore. They're all kind of related to that, so I'm just going to share the whole situation, share about my health, what led me to not be vegan anymore, and just kind of go from there. I initially talked about this on TikTok and Instagram in like February. So if you follow me on those platforms, you might have already heard this story. So feel free to skip through the whole story of like why I'm not vegan anymore if you already know. But basically, so when was this? So during 2020, like during the quarantine time, all of that stuff, like certain things were starting to not feel right in my body. Like end of 2019 into early 2020, I gained a bunch of weight. I did not change anything about my workout routine. I didn't really change much about my eating habits. Like I was still vegan at that point. Like everything was pretty much the same. I was still working out really hard and lifting, progressive overload, like all that stuff. But I was just started to gain weight out of nowhere, and no matter what I did, I could not lose it. Like calorie deficit, added in more cardio, increased my steps, like all the things, and nothing was working. So that was like my first like red flag that something might be a little off with my health. And then I also started to just be bloated like all the time. Like I would wake up bloated, and it wasn't just like from the weight gain, like it was literally like bloating. Like I could feel the air in my stomach. It was painful, it was uncomfortable. So that was just very frustrating, and it would get worse when I would eat certain foods, and at the time I didn't pinpoint what was causing all of this. So it was just like, it was just really frustrating. And also I was dealing with acne, not so much like a ton on my face, but mostly on like my back and my shoulders and my chest, and like even sometimes on like my thighs too, which was also incredibly annoying and made me very, very insecure. It bothered me a lot. So those are just like the main symptoms that I was experiencing, and like put all those together, I just was not always feeling great. Like it was frustrating feeling like my workouts weren't doing anything. It was frustrating feeling like food was not my friend. I was always bloated. It was frustrating having like breakouts all over my body and my face. It was not a fun time. Also, along with not being able to lose weight, it was also incredibly difficult for me to put on muscle, and I also lost muscle. Like maintaining and putting on muscle became impossible despite eating all the protein and doing all of the things. It was just incredibly difficult.
There is no one there, ma'am. It's just a car door.
Okay, so fast forward to September 2020. I got totally just like fed up with how I was feeling, and I decided to look into hiring a dietitian to help me heal these things holistically. I wanted to treat everything that I was experiencing from the root and not just like treat the symptoms and hope for the best. So I started working with my dietitian, and for the beginning of our program, like the first like 6-8 months or so, I worked with her for a while. I was I stayed vegan. Like we worked through it while I was vegan, and I started to see some improvements, but certain things were just like not getting any better. Certain things started to get a little bit worse. Like the acne started to get a little bit worse. The bloating got a little bit worse before it got better. And then my test results, like certain things were just not improving like they should have. So some of the things that I had going on, we did the Dutch test and the GI map test to start. And basically what we found out was I had extreme estrogen dominance, like so much estrogen that was being produced in my body, and then my body also wasn't clearing it properly, which is why I had such a backup. My cortisol levels were flatlined, which from what I can understand and what I remember basically meant that like my body was producing so much cortisol, it was just under so much stress that it was like producing it and metabolizing all of it. So there was just so much of it, but I was metabolizing all of it so that I didn't have any left over to do things like lose weight or build muscle, because you do need certain amounts of cortisol to do certain bodily processes. So that was that. My androgens were all imbalanced. My melatonin was a little bit off. And then as far as my gut went, I had E. coli, like a little bit in there apparently, which freaks me out because I don't know how that got in there. I had that. I don't remember the name of the parasite, but I had like a parasite. I had more bad bacteria in my gut than good I had more bad bacteria than good bacteria in my gut. So it was very imbalanced. Gut dysbiosis was going on. I also had H. pylori, which I think is a parasite or a bacteria. I don't remember, but I had that going on. There was one level, Sig-A, it's basically like immune related. I don't exactly remember how to describe it properly, but that was really, really low. And also my body was not digesting fat very well at all. Like it was just not metabolizing. It was just going like straight through me, which was very much contributing to a lot of the bloating because like it just wasn't getting broken down. So all that was going on, still being vegan, still focusing on a lot of things, but I stopped calling myself vegan during that time because some of the supplements that I had to take only came in like a gelatin capsule. Like there was no other option. There was no like vegan capsules for certain things that I needed to take. So at that point it was either, you know, take these supplements even though there's gelatin in the capsules, or change your diet. And so I initially was like, okay, fine, like I'll just do the supplements, I'll continue to eat vegan, but I stopped calling myself vegan because I was consuming gelatin in these capsules. So I just quietly stopped calling myself vegan for a while that was happening. Let's see, we did a, what's the name of it? Like a micronutrient test. I forget what the name of it was. But basically we discovered that my vitamin A was very, very low. And I was, you know, big fan of sweet potatoes, big fan of, you know, carrots. And I was also eating a ton of carrots anyway, because there was something about carrots that's really good for like clearing estrogen or whatever. So I was eating a ton of plant-based vitamin A sources, but my vitamin A levels were very, very low. Like dangerously low, to the point where my dietitian was surprised I didn't have any like symptoms with my vision. So that was scary. That was very scary. So at that point, that's when she asked me if I would consider adding eggs back into my diet, because the vitamin A in an egg yolk is easier, more available, bioavailable, something, whatever. It's easier for your body to digest and absorb it compared to vitamin A in like a sweet potato, because it has to convert beta carotene to retinol, whereas the vitamin A in an egg yolk is already retinol. So I don't remember exactly when that was. Early 2021? Spring 2021, I'm not positive. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, so I gave it some thought. It was a really difficult thing for me to think about, but you know, there was, on one hand I was like, you know, I wanted to maintain as much of my vegan diet as I possibly could, but on the other hand, I couldn't let my health suffer. Like clearly, no matter what I was doing, eating all the vitamin A that I thought I was getting it in, my body wasn't absorbing it properly. So basically it just kind of told us that maybe my body does not convert beta carotene into retinol very efficiently. So after thinking about it for a few weeks, I decided to add eggs back into my diet, just because, like I said, how low my vitamin A was getting scary. And also protein from animal sources, certain animal sources, can be beneficial for hormones. So that was like another piece of it that my dietitian wanted me to consider. And so after considering, I decided to add eggs back into my diet for those reasons, so that my vitamin A levels could go up. I also started doing vitamin A droppers. Again, like the vitamin A in the egg yolk, it was much more absorbable than the plant-based vitamin A or like even the supplement. But because it was so low, I needed to supplement with direct vitamin A and get it in the retinol form. So we did that. That was hard because I had to do a lot of, during this whole process of like healing, I've had to do so much unlearning of things I thought were facts. Like I had always believed that veganism was the most healthy diet for any person. Like little nuances didn't matter. Being vegan would cure it all. That's the best diet for anybody. Like, you know, everyone should be vegan kind of thing. And being on this journey has made me realize that like it can work for people. It can work for some people, but it does not work in the terms of health for everybody. And it was hard to accept that I was in that group of people that it wasn't working for anymore. And that sucked. That really sucked, because I mean, I'm sure if you've been following me since like Twitter, like, you know, way back in the day, you would remember that I was a very passionate vegan, very passionate, sometimes maybe not the nicest, but everyone who was vegan at one point went through that like passionate, aggressive phase. It was a really difficult decision, which is why I kept it quiet for quite some time, because I was in a position where I needed to prioritize my own health. And it was already difficult as it was, and I didn't want to be bombarded with outside opinions telling me I shouldn't be doing this, you should try this instead. Like I didn't want to have so much noise when I was trying to heal myself from things that were really affecting both me physically and mentally. Because I mean, think about it. I'm a personal trainer. It is my job to help people get fit and feel their best. And I was not feeling my best. It was incredibly difficult for me to get fit. Like I was struggling to lose weight and put on muscle. Things that I teach people how to do, I could not do it for myself at that time. So it really just gave me such imposter syndrome. It made me not want to create content, hence why I wasn't on here for a while. I just felt like, you know, if I can't do this for myself, how can I help other people do it? But I came to the understanding that it has nothing to do with my level of knowledge. The health issues that I was experiencing were causing me to like not be able to lose weight and not be able to gain muscle. Like, it wasn't my lack of knowledge, or it wasn't my lack of knowing anything about training. Like, I have a lot of knowledge in both of those areas. So I've kind of gotten over that, but when I was going through that, that was just another reason why I did not want to share in that moment that I was no longer vegan, because I was already going through so much mentally. So that went well. My vitamin A levels did end up going back up to a safer level, so that was good. But still, certain things with hormones were not improving. Like, it just took a really long time for them to improve, and that's when my dietitian said, okay, I know you already added eggs, but would you consider adding seafood back into your diet? She explained to me that the omegas directly from seafood will be super beneficial for hormone health. Like, good fats are so important for hormone health. And I mean, you could get your good fats from avocados and like plant-based sources, which I was already doing, but there's a difference in, again, absorbability and bioavailability when it comes from a certain animal sourced or animal-based source versus a plant-based source. So she asked me to consider adding seafood to get those omegas to really kind of push me over the edge and really start to make more progress with my hormones, because like the estrogen dominance was still a thing. I mean, it was going down, but it was going down so slowly, and pretty much like the estrogen dominance, when you have, I'm gonna try and explain this in like the easiest way possible, just because I want to get the point across of how important it was for me to bring down my estrogen. So there's like 3 pathways that your estrogen gets metabolized through, and there's one of them that's like the more carcinogenic pathway. Basically, like, if your body is using this pathway a ton, then it increases your likelihood to develop certain cancers. So my body was preferring this carcinogenic pathway, so I had a ton of estrogen going through that dangerous pathway. That, paired with the low melatonin I had, drastically increases my chance for developing breast cancer. I already have a ton of cancer history in my family, so that made it incredibly important for me to make sure I get my estrogen. Sorry, my camera ran out of space, so I had to delete some like really old things I didn't even realize were on there. Anyway, so I ended up deciding to also add seafood back into my diet for those omegas, so I could continue to clear my estrogen and just really get more balanced hormones. And then that just brings me to where I am today. I don't consume any dairy. I don't do any other meat besides seafood, just seafood and eggs in my diet. I also do a little bit of honey for like local honey for like allergy reasons, because I get really bad allergies, and my dietitian recommended that as well. My hormones are in a much better place. My gut is in a much better place. There's still work to be done. I mean, the gut and hormone issues that I was dealing with were probably built up over years and years, but from so many different factors. And then my mom's passing was just like the icing on the cake that really just pushed those symptoms into high gear and really made them prominent. Because I mean, I dealt with like before her passing, there were certain symptoms. Maybe I would get bloated more often than I would like, and I would still get like acne flares like on my back and like my face and stuff, but it just got so much worse after all that happened. So it was just the final piece of the pie to really just push me over the edge and experience all the symptoms that came with those health issues. But like I said, because they were just like built up over years and years and years, it isn't going to be, you know, an overnight process to heal them. I am in a much better place as far as my health goes now compared to when I first started working with my dietitian. Like, some of the things are just so much better. I've been able to body recomp, burn fat, build muscle at the same time, and like feel like I have more control over my body again, and feel like, you know, the workouts that I'm doing are actually making a difference. So that's been really nice as well, to just feel like I have control over my body again. But yeah, making the decision to no longer be vegan was incredibly difficult. I don't want anybody to think that it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm craving this, so whatever, I'm just gonna give up on it. Like, it was really hard, and I basically had to choose between being vegan or my health to a serious degree. So it was a difficult decision, but I'm really happy with where I'm at now. Another question that I got was, do I think I'll ever be vegan again? And honestly, I don't know. I really don't know, because I need to just do more digging on like the vitamin A thing. I need to somehow find out if there's a test or something I can take to figure out, like, was I just not eating as much plant-based vitamin A as I thought I was? I mean, I was eating sweet potatoes and carrots like every day. Or is my body just like really not efficient at converting beta carotene into retinol? And if that's the case, then I probably would not be able to be fully vegan again, because I need the vitamin A. And as far as, you know, seafood goes, I really just, once I get to a place where my hormone, I mean, I don't believe in perfection in anything, but I really want to get to a place where everything is like in a normal range. I'm getting there, I'm closer, I'm not totally there yet. Cortisol is still kind of a mess. Androgens are still a little bit kind of a mess, but not as big of a mess as they used to be. So that's like the win that I'm taking out of all this. So we'll see, time will tell. Right now I'm going to continue to eat eggs and fish. Just, that's where I'm at in my health journey, but I don't know what the future will hold, so we'll see. Another question that I got was about the changes to my workout routine. When you're dealing with like hormone and cortisol issues, especially with cortisol, which is, you know, the stress hormone, you have to kind of adjust your workout routine to work with those things. And I'm used to lifting like 5 days a week and like going really hard and heavy and progressive overload and pushing myself, and that was not serving me. It was just doing more harm than good, which was another mental barrier I had to jump over, because I'm like, you know, you want to build muscle and lose weight or burn body fat, then, you know, lift weights to do progressive overload, which is, that is how you do it if everything on the inside is in check. But for me, that was just causing more internal stress than not. So right now I am weightlifting 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I have rests in between those days. When I'm like post-ovulation, pre-period, I'm not typically pushing myself super hard. And then during the rest of my cycle, that's when I'm like trying to go for PRs, pushing myself hard, whatever. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the days that I am not lifting, I'm either doing yoga. I've started to do yoga classes, which has been very humbling. Apparently I'm not the most balanced and it hurts my wrists and my ankles, so I guess I'm not very strong there. But it's been fun, it's a new challenge, and so if I'm not doing yoga, then I'm like walking around my neighborhood. I try to get at least a mile, if not longer than that. Just some really like low intensity restorative movement, which is very important for hormone health especially. As far as business goes, still doing the boot camps, the 20th session, which is crazy that I've done 20 of these, but the 20th session starts on Monday, May 2nd, which is my birthday. So I'm really excited about that. Still doing boot camp, still doing one-on-one training, and the newest thing is my monthly membership. So that's new. That's been going really well. It's $33 a month, and you get access to like a collection of workouts. We have the private app, the group chat, all that fun stuff. I won't bore you with all the details. If you're interested, link to my website the link to my website is in the description. I was also almost going to say in my bio, because I am so used to making reels and like TikTok content. So I'm getting back used to the YouTube grind. In our new house, I have my own office, which I'm really excited. I will show you. I'm very excited. It's not totally done yet though. I want to add like floating wooden shelves on the accent wall behind my desk. I want to add some more art in there, get some more accessories. I want to have like a little side table next to the pink chair that I have. So it's still a work in progress. We're not done yet, but I'm really happy with it, and I'm really excited to have my own space where I can just vibe out and do my work. So I think that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to get all these updates out of the way before I get back to like regular scheduled programming with content. Obviously we're gonna do some workouts and like fitness related things, but I might throw some more vlogs in there if you guys would be interested in that. Let me know in the comments what you specifically want to see from me. If you have like any specific requests for videos, let me know in the comments, shoot me a DM on Instagram, or let me know on TikTok, whatever. You know how to find me, let me know, because I need some ideas. It's been a while for YouTube. I do want to come back, but like I said, I wanted to get these updates out of the way, and now we can roll with it. We can get back to content. Let me know what you want to see. But thank you so much for watching this video and for sticking around. If you're new, hi, my name's Amanda, by the way. Should have said that in the beginning, but hit that subscribe button if you would like to see more of me and more of my content with all of these new updates in my life happening. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you are not already. Definitely TikTok. I really am trying to hit 100K. I want to hit 100K by my birthday, which is in a few days, so maybe that's still possible. We shall see. If you would like to follow me over there, you definitely can. Hope you all have a beautiful day, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.